Hi everybody, Jessie here from jessiebanks.com and welcome back to another video. So for today, what I'm doing is kind of my first look at the Altenew Watercolor set. This has been out for a while. I recently picked it up. It comes in a box and it was wrapped all in bubble wrap and stuff. I've already unboxed it. On the back, it gives you a list of all the colors and it comes in this pan. Now the lid doesn't fold all the way flat. I do believe that this is why they were giving away a free pan set at the beginning of these release, and it should be fixed when they're onto new palettes. This one must be an old one, or they're like this. I'm really not sure, but we are going to go through and swatch out all of these colors. So I have painted one or two projects with these. I will show you a photo of one a little bit later, and there will be a video coming probably next week. It's already filmed and everything. I just haven't edited it, but we're going to go through and swatch all these out, and then I'll talk a little bit more about my thoughts on them as we go. So I'm starting off with Pink Diamond. This is a soft pink color. It is very, very cool toned and very, very fluorescent. Pardon the noise. I was just pulling out my swatch sheet. I am going to start them darker and fade them out to lighter. I did create this swatch card on Arch's 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. So that is going to give me the look it'll be on the projects that I use it on. I will put this inside of the pan, like the case at the end, so that every time I use these watercolors, I do have the swatch chart so I can see what colors I'm picking up and things. So Puffy Heart and Purple Wine are both really cool toned purpley pinks. They are very similar in color. Puffy Heart is slightly pinker. I do believe that all of these colors do coordinate with ink colors they have, so that would explain why there is like a 4-step process through a lot of these colors, because that is how they run their ink line. You get like a really light, medium, dark, and extra dark color going through all of their ink pads, and that's how you can do your layered stamping with all of their cool little layered sets. I like to watercolor and Copic color, so I tend to not buy the ink pads and not use the layering stamps. I just use the outline and paint them. I should pick up some of their ink pads and try that. I'm going to put that on my list of things to do. I digress. Back to the swatching. We are on Cosmic Berry, which is a really, really deep burgundy purple. I love this color. This is probably one of my favorite colors in the entire palette. And then we'll get into Cotton Candy. So this entire first line is basically your pinks. And then we'll get into some greens and yellows and oranges and blues and all the colors of the rainbow because it makes me happy. I wanted this watercolor set when it first came out, and then I was kind of hesitant on it. They do declare that it is artist grade. I use lots of my Schminke and my Daniel Smith and all that kind of fun stuff, and I love those paints. Those are artist grade paints. I wouldn't call these artist grade paints. I get no pigment information. I get no light fast, all that kind of stuff that I consider the perks of using artist grade paints. On the same note, these paints are beautiful. They paint beautifully. They lay down solid color. They wash out beautifully. I don't find them chalky at all. I don't find them pasty at all. I think they're a really, really pretty watercolor. But like I said, the artist grade claim, when I don't get the light fast and the pigment information and all that kind of stuff, kind of makes me question that part. Will I still use these? Yes, because the colors are beautiful. So we're carrying on. You guys can see the names up here now that I zoomed in a little bit further. We are now on to Grapevine. I only sped this up to 2.5 times the original speed. I swatch wicked slow. As you can see from how slow I'm moving, and it's actually sped up. Pathetic, I know. This is Grapevine. Again, another one of my favorite colors in the set. It is a lot more red tone than the Cosmic Berry, but you still get that depth of color, and it washes out to a very, very soft, rusty, muted, beautiful, vintagey color, which is what I tend to paint a lot with when it comes to floral images. Crimson is a beautiful, bright, fiery red. And then we'll move down into our second line here, which will be Forest Glades to start things off, which is like an olivey toned type green. It's very, very pretty. I like to mix it in with Bamboo and Lemon Fresh to give me something similar to a sap green. My voice went really weird there. I am going to show you at the end a few of the mixes I have really enjoyed doing with these, just to kind of reach towards some more of the colors that I use all the time in my other watercolor sets. So that'll be fun to share with you guys a little later on. Frayed Leaf is a very soft, muted, pastel-y type green. It's a very pretty color. It's really hard to explain. It's more like a a minty, it's not even minty, it's pretty. It's just very, very soft and muted and pastel-like. Bamboo is like your lemon lime, super bright green. It's fantastic. They're all beautiful colors, you guys. I'm very, very happy with this set. You cannot beat the quality of the paint for the price. I think I paid $36, $39, something like that American for it. I did pick mine up at scrapbook.com. I will have the links to the watercolor set in various locations where I can find it in stock and all of that fun stuff down at the bottom in the description box below, as I always do. Next, we're jumping into yellows. I paint with lots of yellows. I use them in lots of my mixes. We do get a fairly cool toned in comparison to the rest Citrus Burst, which would be kind of like your lemon color in this set. It's more of a Hansa. It's still a warm yellow, but it's the coolest one we're given. Then we get Lemon Fresh, which is like your mid-tone yellow, and Warm Sunshine, which is kind of going more orange. So those are the three yellows we're supplied in this set. They're all very beautiful, as per everything. I like paints. I love them all. I will not complain. Like I said, for the price, you cannot beat the quality. I really enjoy the combination of colors they put together in this. It's a very floral palette, which you would expect coming from Altenew. I mean, I didn't pick this up thinking I was going to be painting people in skin tones and critters. You could do critters. Skin tones would be a little more difficult, but you could definitely do critters. But I didn't pick it up for that purpose. I definitely picked it up for the ability to paint florals out of it. That is what Altenew is known for. Of course, that is why I picked up this palette. I don't like the case. I really wish the case folded open so I didn't have to bust it loose every time I needed to mix colors. That's just a futzy point. I really like mixing in my palette. I have dirty palettes and messes all over the place, and this one's going to be a little harder to use simply because that lid does snap off. Like I said at the beginning, I do believe that is why they were at the start giving out other set, like another case, so that I think that one opened flat, this one didn't. I do hope when they release like new batches of this product that they will put them in the cases that fold completely flat, because this is kind of frustrating. I'll get over it. It's a small nitpicky thing, but it's frustrating. On to our oranges. We have Sunkist, Orange Cream, and now I'm on to Autumn Blaze. I would use the crimson in there just to deepen it a little bit more. That Autumn Blaze and Orange Cream are fairly close. I'd like a little more reddy color as my deepest, but they give that to you in order to be able to do that. So it's nothing I can complain about because the ability is there. It's just not in the same line. No big deal. Evergreen would be your typical evergreen color that you would picture. I see it on lots of houses that were painted in the 90s. If you don't know, I am a residential and commercial painter by trade, so I see lots of this color on the exterior of houses around my parts. Mountain Mist would be more of your minty tealy green. Again, beautiful. Jumping into Lagoon, which is your deeper tealy color. Emerald, which is your bright emerald green. I don't use this color. I don't like this color. And again, that's all personal preference with what you enjoy and what colors you like. So that's definitely one I don't like. That one's a couple down here. I hope you guys can read the names. My printing is so messy. Like I said, I have painted a couple projects with this one. I did post one on my blog a while ago. I do have the picture here later in the video. I did some embossed florals and I painted them pink and some leaves and things, and it was really, really fun to paint. And then next week you guys will get a video using one of these, or using this watercolor set in a card. It's filmed and edited. I think it's going, or no, it's not edited. I think it's going up on Wednesday next week. I'm thinking of bringing back like my Watercolor Wednesday series I was doing last year with Carissa. I don't think she's doing it anymore either, but I'm thinking of bringing that one back and posting watercolor cards for you guys every Wednesday. Either watercolor cards or different techniques, things like that. Just something watercolor related on Wednesdays because they both start with W, so why not? I'm real creative. Ocean Waves is jumping back into our tealy tone, so you could definitely use Ocean Waves, Lagoon together. But it does go in with the Dusk and the Desert Night, which is just darker and darker. That Desert Night color is absolutely gorgeous. It is like an Indian throne, indigo type blue, really, really deep and moody. It does like to granulate a little bit on the paper, as do lots of these colors, which really surprised me being for the price point they are. You usually get lots of flat laying dye based colors as opposed to something that's going to granulate and give you some fun texture on your watercolor paper. Caribbean Sky is like your baby blue color. You can definitely use it for sky tones, washes in the background. Same with that Prussian blue. It's just a little bit darker, but it falls in the same use as what I would use cerulean and things like that for it. Persian, not Prussian, Jessie. Persian blue. So that ends up our entire row of blues, which are super fun, and the greens. I'm really loving this palette. Then we get down into more of our neutral colors, and we finish off with some purples. The neutral selection in this one is nice. It's not overdone. You don't get 100 different browns and 100 different grays, but the ones you do get are different enough that they're all useful in their own right. A lot of the time I find when companies give you a selection of browns and things, they're all basically the same color, just slightly darker. The ones that you're going to receive in the Altenew Watercolor set are all different undertones. You'll see as I get to swatching them here once I finish this Persian blue that you have a really warm red undertoned brown called Paper Bag. Then your mocha is a little bit more cool. It's got a little bit of a purpley red undertone to it. And then your espresso is your really cool true dark brown color. So it's nice to have those 3 different tones. You can mix them together to get different variations of things. I like to take a couple of them and mix them in with a pink to give me more of a hematite feel. I like that pinky brown vintagey color, and I can mix that with this, which makes me really, really happy that there's enough tones in here that I can mix and get those colors that I really like to put into my florals and make them feel more vintagey and old and kind of muted and just really, really pretty. I like that these bright, bold colors can be used, but there's enough variety in here to be able to do the soft, more pastel-y type colors that we all see in lots of the card makers videos. Jumping into our grays, we have Industrial Diamond, which is a true neutral, I would call it a very true neutral gray. Moon Rock, which is slightly warmer. It's got a little bit of a purple undertone to it. I like to mix it in with a little bit of a purpley pink color, which gives me something similar to Moon Glow in Daniel Smith. It doesn't granulate as much, but it's a beautiful mix. Jet Black, I'll never use that. But lots of people like to have that black option in their watercolor palettes. Onto our purple, we have Lavender Fields, which is a cooler purple, Deep Iris, which is super warm, and your Midnight Violet, which kind of falls in between. I like purples. I usually mix them. I really enjoy that we have a few in this set, and it's not overdone. I love the variety we have. So now let's get into the case here. It's a plastic case. It's very lightweight. I do have a couple of my metal tins here. It is lighter than both of them. You'll see me kind of pick them all up here. It's skinnier than both of them. It is wider, but it's not longer. So I really like the size. It should be all right for traveling with. I really hate that lid pops off. It drives me crazy. Now these are extruded pans, so they come out in a line and they get chopped, which is why you'll see some of the pans lay in there really, really flat, and some of them are kind of on an angle and one end sticks up a little further and whatnot. That's just showing you guys the difference in them because they aren't poured pans, they're extruded. That happens. My watercolor brush fell apart. I did have to putz with it, and I actually turned the camera off in order to be able to put it back together. I don't like this brush. I don't like any water brushes, though. I really don't enjoy having the water in the tube. I do prefer to carry an outside water source and use my brushes that I have picked over the years myself that I really enjoy. But for a water brush, it's par for the course with the rest of them. You cannot fit any of my brushes into this watercolor set. I tried tons of them. The only one that works is my little one that came in my Cotman set that I bought ages ago. I don't even paint with this brush because it's so short it's impossible to hold. But that one fits. So there is our swatch sheet. Now I'm going to jump into some of my mixes. So I did 5 different colors here of things that I use regularly in other pans. So I was trying to come up with something similar. So this will be something close to a sap green. I am mixing the fresh lemon, bamboo, and the forest glades together to give me something close to a sap green here. When I first put it on, it is too green. So I do go, or too like deep green. So I go in and add a little bit more of that bamboo to give it a little more brightness to it to make it feel more like a sap green. I really love how you can get these different mixes. The next one we're going to do will be kind of close to a Quinacridone Gold. It's really hard to mix them when you don't have pigment numbers and know what you're mixing together, but I did my best. I mixed Warm Sunshine and Lemon Fresh together, and then I came back and I added just a touch of Paper Bag into it just to brown it up a little bit. If you notice, when you put your Quinacridone Golds down really, really dark, they almost have a brown hue to them. So then we'll wash that one out. It's not exact, but it'll work and it'll keep me happy. Next up, I am mixing that like pinky vintagey color. So I am doing mocha and espresso, and I'm adding some of that coral berry to it just to give it that pinker undertone. I decided I wanted it a little bit pinker, and we fade it out, and you can see how pretty and vintagey that is. It will be in a couple of the photos later, and I will show it closer when I'm finished. Next up, I'm picking up the Moon Rock color, and I'm adding some of that Cosmic Berry to it. And a little more of the Moon Rock. It was a little too purple, and that gives me something similar, like I said, to that Moon Glow color with the purple undertone. I'm so enjoying mixing these and playing to find colors that I use regularly. Quinacridone Coral is like my be-all to end-all color, and this is as close as I could get. So I mixed together the Coral Berry and the Crimson, which gave me a really, really red color. And then I wanted to orange it up just a little bit, so I added some of the Autumn Blaze, which took me way too orange. So I came back in and added a little more of the Coral Berry, and that gave me a very similar color. It'll keep me happy. It'll definitely do what I want it to do on cards and be in that tone family. So you can definitely mix to get colors similar to the ones that you really enjoy seeing or using in your other paint sets, which is super nice to have. So there they all are once they're all dry. Super pretty colors, guys. I love that we can mix all of those. I am going to pop in a photo here now of the card I did with this set when I first picked it up. Again, links to all of the products I used will be in the description box below, and I will have a video coming very, very soon for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed my little peek into this set. Even if I'm super late and everybody has it already, I'm happy I finally splurged and bought it. So if you aren't subscribed, I'd love for you to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.